Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation. And now, my name is Mila number 085 as the presenter. I will talk about from 20th century classrooms to 21st century workspaces. Let's jump to the next slide. Next, the topic of the text is Transition in Education, and the title of the text is From 20th Century Classrooms to 21st Century Workspaces, Educating Students in a Rapidly Changing World. The writer's purpose in writing the text is to visualize the reader and also the educators in terms of understanding 20th century traditional classroom to envisioning the 21st century learning environment or workspaces. So, the educators know the differences and the characteristics of education between the 20th century and 21st century. This slide will tell you the transition from 20th century classroom to 21st century learning organization. As you can see in the left picture, from the desks and chairs with a teacher in front of the room, books and materials, a print-rich environment, and the educator as digital immigrant, so they don't really know about the technology. But in the right picture, they use desktop computers, pods of laptops, a media-rich, immediate, fast-engaging, dynamic, and instant response environment. And the student as digital natives. They use digital media. Next, from aligning the methods of teaching to impart knowledge to aligning the method of learning to embrace learning how to learn. In 20th century school, the student can study in teaching areas. But in 21st century learning organization, the student can learn without boundaries. In 20th century classroom, they use teaching tools and resources that support teaching. But in 21st century learning organization, they use strategies and resources that support learning for student and staff. The transition of the teacher's roles, teacher as adapter. In 20th century, the teacher uses rigid set of facts with testing model and uses chalk and talk as the main delivery. In the 21st century, the teacher uses digital tools for gathering information and matching learning styles to a variety of IT tools. Teacher as visionary. In 20th century, the teachers know the contents of the curriculum and they use one way to teach. In the 21st century, the teachers listen to and look at the others' ideas and approaches, adjusting to how ideas and method can be used to see the potential and manipulate them. And next, teachers as collaborator. In 20th century, the teachers use pen and paper to take notes, lecturing, talking, delivering the information. In 21st century, the teachers use wikispaces, Ning, Blogger, MySpace, etc. They are moderating, facilitating, referring, shaping conversation and discussion. Next, teacher as risk-taker. Moving from teacher as knower and provider of information to the teacher identifies the goal and facilitates the learning. Next, teacher as communicator. From asking question and accepting answer to becoming flexible in tools and technologies that enable communication and collaboration. Teacher as model. from modeling the behavior of how to with chalkboards to modeling the behavior desired by or from student. Teacher as leader. From teaching as a narrow role to teaching as a complex role. Next, teacher as a skilled professional. From knowing pedagogy and using effective practice to combining pedagogy and effective practice. Last one, teacher as classroom architect. From functioning in a teacher-centric classroom to creating student-centric workspaces. My critical comment on the topic and content of the text. I agree with this text. Regardless, educators have to know that they don't live in the same world. The world is mixed with many different cultures and technology. Globalization has opened the world and stimulated people in new ways. That's why the transition in education is needed to match learners with the standards. The transition from the teacher-centered classroom to the student-centered classroom is beneficial because in order to meet the creativity of the learners, the class must be designed with attention focused on the learners. The 21st century education is helping the learners grow with confidence to practice the skills in this new world. As the future educators, we are expected to share, contribute, adapt, and invent learning activities. The value that I got from the text is the significant difference that happened in education system. As the educators in 21st century, we are charged in educating the learners to be successful in a complex, interconnected world. Because of this, we have to know the recent transition in education nowadays. It prepares the educators to teach the learners for higher education and the new world work. The educator inside the class plays important role in learning activities. Through this text, the educators can apply their teaching methods that match with the new system. This transition doesn't only help the educators, but also help the learners in developing their ideas easier and more independent. And then, the teacher can create the suitable environment for teaching and learning. In this text, I found some unfamiliar vocabularies. For the first one is inclusive, means mencakup. Inextricably means tak terpisahkan. Intertwined mean terjalin. To envision means membayangkan. Gratification means kepuasan. Reliant means bergantung. To harness means untuk memanfaatkan. Rigid means kaku. Technology savvy means cerdas teknologi atau mengerti tentang teknologi. And the last one is disposition, means watak.